horse lovers. Today I'm going to show you a little bit of a process that might help you if you have a couple of horses that are sweet on each other. So this gray mare here is Gina. She's my Dutch warm blood. And this, well, you can't see her, she's lying down, but I bet she gets up here in a minute. Across the aisle from her is a yearling that I just acquired last Sunday. So she's only been here for 4 days. And the two of them are very sweet on each other. Maxie, my paint mare, has put the yearling through the ringer in the last 4 days, sort of as an initiation into the herd. And through that process, Gina, my warm blood, has scooped up little Kaya, the yearling, and been her safe place to be. So of course they're very bonded, but I'd like to be able to leave all the horses in the barn and take one out at a time to play with them individually. And in order for that to happen, two things have to be okay. The horse with me has to be willing to stay with me and not worry about what's going on in the barn. And the horses in the barn need to also be relaxed, all right? Because otherwise it's a distraction, and I don't like it when my horses are stressed out. So when your horse becomes sweet on a buddy, the situation has to do with confidence. The reason they want to be with that other horse is because the other horse provides them a place that they feel safe. And oftentimes the reason they feel safe with other horses is because other horses are wildly observant. Humans, on the other hand, have a tendency to get fixated on whatever their goal is for that training session and not notice all the little things that our horses do to try to tell us that they don't feel safe. If your horse doesn't feel safe, there's a few things you really need to focus on. One is, where is your comfort zone, right? What do I have to do? Where do we have to be in order for your nervous system to perceive that the situation is safe? That place is called the comfort zone, right? That's a common phrase. The second thing to understand is, just outside of the comfort zone, my horse is alert and ready to learn. I like to call that place the window of trainability. And how much my horse can handle in the window of trainability will have to do with whether or not I'm observant enough to know whether or not they're in their window, and do I need to retreat soon, or could I advance more? Okay? If I advance too much, what I'll end up doing is popping them into self-defense mode, right? Their defense mechanisms come online, everything gets rerouted, all resources get sent towards survival, okay? And if I do that, then I'm teaching my horse two things. One, that I'm not observant enough to be trustworthy, right? That I can't see or perceive the dangers that there are in this situation, and therefore they need to rely on Mother Nature. And two, I am hardwiring my horse to be stressed. So it's important for us to understand that confidence grows when I retreat back to the comfort zone versus if I advance too much and end up popping them into self-defense. Now, please understand that everybody, no matter how good you are at training horses, will inadvertently pop them into self-defense mode. It's not the end of the world. You haven't, destroyed the relationship. But the quicker you can realize that and get them back into their comfort zone, the more credibility you will have in the future. But if instead I can be really observant and aware of where the window of trainability is, I'm going to explore the window of trainability, hang out there for a little while, and then come back to the comfort zone. If I do that often enough, the window of trainability will widen, and I'll be able to just halter my horse and walk away, and everybody in the barn will be just fine. If I ignore the window of trainability and just barge ahead because I got stuff to do today, then I'm going to wire everybody in the barn to be stressed, probably the horse in my hand as well, okay? So the goal here is actually going to be to widen Kaya's window of trainability. And let's, just play with her a little bit here and see what we get. Okay, so as I proceed to explore the window of trainability for Kaya, I have to also recognize that Gina is part of the equation. And although I have widened her window well enough that we can usually just walk right to the arena, I need to make sure that because my focus or goal is on Kaya, that I'm not losing track of Gina and her experience as well, okay? So the first thing to do is to halter her. And as I'm haltering her, I want to make sure that I am observing her, that I'm feeling for her and trying to recognize whether or not this is okay with her or is she having a problem too. So far, my observation, my feelings from her are that everything's fine. She's expecting me to halter her and that we might get to do something fun or at least interesting, right? And I'll take it moment by moment to decide whether or not it's okay to move forward. So far, all green lights. Oopsie, there we go. Green light, green light. Green lights. Eye boogies. Yuck. So little Kaya is lying down in her stall. So it'll be interesting if she gets up when I take Gina out. She's had a big few days, and I can see she's tired. And we actually played with this quite a bit yesterday, so for all I know, I fixed it yesterday. So Kaya's not getting up. I fixed it yesterday. I'm not going to be able to show you guys today. Okay, so she did get up, okay, good, which is good. I wanted her to. And I don't ever want to sneak it, right? I want her to know that I was taking Gina away. Otherwise, I might be in the arena 10, 15 minutes from now, and she gets up and gets startled because her safety blanket has, gone out of view. So now I'm going to approach and retreat with Kaya and Gina with a goal of increasing the distance that we can get away from her and have her remain confident. So you can see that she's not in her comfort zone. Well, you can't see, but she's not in her comfort zone right now. She's bothered, but not defensive yet. All right, so I'm going to hang out here a little bit and then go back to her. Just kidding, no big deal. We're just chilling. I want her to know that sometimes I might take her buddy away, but we always come back. Good. So now as I stand here and observe her, what I can see is that she's coming back to her comfort zone. There she goes. All right, she's licking and chewing, which is a sign of the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so what that says to me is that she was in her window of trainability, and now she's back to her comfort zone. Right, parasympathetic, everything's cool, rest and digest, nothing to be worried about here. Also, Gina just did a nice big sigh. Okay, so my observation is, again, now that I've gone away a little bit, she is concerned, but not defensive. And the trick is always, can I ask for more or should I retreat? And the only way to know is to be willing to experiment. You have to be willing to make some mistakes, learn from them through observation, and then do better the next time. So I've just backed Gina up a little bit more to try to see what Kaya might do. And so far, she's handling it. She's not okay with it, but she's handling it. So because she's handling it versus just being okay with it, I need to make sure I retreat. And retreat means go back to her. It doesn't mean, okay, we're all done here and I can just go on about my business. So, as I get close to her, I can see she's gotten a little sweaty. Her eyes are a bit wide. And, her breathing is rapid and shallow. So all of those are signs of, that she could potentially be getting close to defense mode. So now I have to hang here until I see any sign of the comfort zone, right? The parasympathetic that says everything's cool, I'm not concerned anymore, rest and digest, all systems are allocated towards rest and digest. So now her eye is softening, her breathing's returning to normal, right? Deep and slower. The blinking is slow. And now she just licked and chewed. Okay, so parasympathetic. Alright, so now we approach again. We approach the idea that I can go away with Gina and it's okay. You don't have to get panicked. Ooh, wasp. So I can't really see Kaya right now. There she is. But she's not whinnying. Now I can see her. She's standing at the gate looking out. Again, her eyes are a little bit wide, but she's not breathing as rapidly as she was just a moment ago. And in a gesture of good faith, I'm going to come back again. I should have been filming this yesterday, because yesterday she was whinnying, throwing herself against her gate. She actually broke the latch on her gate. So it was quite a big deal for her. But I immediately altered my plan. My plan was to play with Gina and ride. But because Kaya was having such a hard time, I had to switch gears and work on Kaya's ability to have Gina go away confidently. And so the efforts I spent yesterday on this goal paid off, right? Today is better than yesterday. Good job, sis. Again, I can't see Kaya right now. There's a hay net in her stall. I would love for her to just soothe herself by eating some hay. That would be a great way for her to cope with this situation. But I'm super pleased. It's many, many times more relaxed than it was yesterday. There, now I can see her. She's licking and chewing. Her eyes are a little wide, so she's somewhat concerned, but she's learning to be accepting of this situation. So it's when I come back with Gina that her confidence grows, all right? Confidence grows in the retreat. Confidence grows when they get back to the situation that helps them feel safe. So the effort that I put in yesterday is creating a better today. And this situation that I've created today will make tomorrow even better. So it might take me 3 or 4 more sessions before it's a non-issue. But if I take the time now, then it'll be a non-issue forever. And, Kai is just a yearling. I hope we have 30 years together or more. So I really would like to be able to just squash this particular confidence issue and move on to bigger and better things. I hope you found that helpful.